So putting that in the open.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Movie Night Podcast. Woo! Whoop, whoop. I'm back 2 weeks in a row, bro.
I know, this is crazy. This is rare.
This is very rare.
Next week, it's just going to be me.
Today, we decided to do a really fun episode that this one's been on the queue for a little while, but we're really excited about it. Pirates of the Caribbean.
The what? Of the what?
The Caribbean.
Okay. Yep.
Is there a problem?
I say Caribbean.
Well, you'd be wrong.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's wrong.
I mean,
that's incorrect.
We'll let the fans decide in the comments who's right and who's wrong.
But it's Caribbean, though.
You know, so let us know what you guys
Caribbean.
think the correct way to say it.
It's Caribbean.
Yeah.
But yes, we're going to be talking about Pirates of the Caribbean today. I'm not going to say that the whole episode. I'm just fucking around. I'm not saying that the whole episode. But yeah, so today we are going to be talking about Pirates of the Caribbean, the amazing film franchise from Disney, and I even have some notes that I took today.
We don't have a producer today.
Yeah, Mike's not here today.
Mike basically said he hated us.
Mm-hmm. He quit.
We
made him. We bullied him so much that he quit.
Yeah.
So good riddance.
Yeah, we didn't need you.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, this was pretty easy setup.
Please
even
come
though we
back.
called you like 5 times. But yeah, so today we're talking about Pirates of the Caribbean, and I'm really, really excited. I love these fucking movies. I just watched all these recently. I am a bit fuzzy still on like many of the main plot stuff, but we're gonna be talking about this in snippets. Okay,
Right.
So we're gonna be talking about this we're gonna talk about the whole first trilogy as a whole,
Right.
first, and then we'll talk about the other two like after that, because they are kind of their own separate thing, which is
Right.
a little bit weird, and we'll get to that later. Starring Johnny Depp, Keira Knightley, Orlando Bloom. Mind you, this is riding on the coattail of Lord of the Rings for Orlando Bloom.
The goats.
And this movie did for the brand of pirates, like the actual trope of a pirate or the character of a pirate, what Lord of the Rings did for fantasy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Right. Even though I would say that Pirates of the Caribbean is a fantasy film.
Yeah,
a lot
it's
of
got
magic and stuff.
It's got fantasy elements to it, but there's also a realism to it. Whereas Lord of the Rings is just straight.
Yeah, just straight fantasy. Yeah. But before this, pirates were not very popular. They weren't really that cool. You know, it's just kind of like bad guys for Peter Pan, or really shitty movies, or Muppet Pirates, or whatever. Like around this time, like pirates, there was nothing pirate related that was even remotely cool, right? Mm-hmm. And Pirates of the Caribbean came out, and it took things from the ride, like the prisoners and like the whole Tortuga part of Pirates. That's all from the ride.
Yep.
Everything else is original.
Yeah.
The Black Pearl got nothing to do with the ride.
Which I've watched videos on the ride when it before Pirates came out, the movie, and the stuff they put in that is from the movie it's so much different than how it used to be, the ride.
It's obviously changed a lot because Disney markets,
like Jack Sparrow's in.
Like, for example, you can't blame them for that, because if you go into a Pirates ride today, people our age, and you didn't know that it wasn't from a movie or whatever, or the movies were based on the ride,
right?
And you go in and you're just like, where's Jack Sparrow? Where's
right.
Barbossa? Where's wherever?
Yep.
You wouldn't know,
yeah,
right? So it was, whatever. I get why they were throwing in Jack Sparrow now, and
I think even when them throwing in Jack Sparrow and stuff like that, it still doesn't diminish the ride at all. The ride's still great.
Yeah.
And it's still the same story from...
It's better for us because we grew up with the movies.
Right.
Yeah. So, about the movies. What do you think about them? You want to...
I love them all. I know we're going with the first trilogy first.
Right.
But the first one is...
the best. Yeah, I mean...
It's the best.
Let's talk about specifically like one film at a time. Let's
talk about The Curse of the Black Pearl first.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, you talk about an opening film really hitting the head on grabbing your attention and getting you to fucking stay.
What do you mean?
I mean, the way they do it, and like just the characters and how they're presented, and Jack Sparrow's character coming in on that ship as it sinks, and he just jumps off, and then it's comedic, but it's also kind of serious in a way that movie is.
Mm-hmm.
But they just, from the beginning to the end, they don't miss, and it's great.
I think that one of the most genius things that they could have done, and I see this term get thrown around a lot in terms of the Pirates movies, that's accidentally genius. And I can't help but kind of agree with that. Like, I don't know, it's kind of funny how Jack Sparrow is constantly portrayed as this drunk idiot who has no idea what he's doing, but in every situation, Jack Sparrow comes out on top.
Oh yeah,
because he's just like that. Like,
yeah, he's him.
Yeah, he comes out on top in every scenario. He outsmarts everybody, and I think it's because people just don't.
They don't take him seriously.
They don't take him seriously.
Yeah.
They don't whatever, right? So I think in terms of that, creating a great character, like just in the writing alone, has nothing to do even, like, let alone the fact of Johnny Depp.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have Johnny Depp playing Jack Sparrow, I don't think it.
It's not Jack Sparrow. However, I think that finding the right actor to portray the character that you wrote was a very important part of that, because that character could have easily been miscast, especially back in 2003.
Oh yeah.
You know, with the people that were big at the time.
I wonder.
Johnny Depp, I feel like wasn't. No, he just did Public Enemies, I think, or was that late? No, that was way later.
I mean, his very first movie was Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, but that was in the 80s.
Yeah.
And then, he did a couple Tim Burton movies. So, I don't know. I'm not sure. Around 2003, I'm not sure about the whereabouts of Johnny Depp's career, but I do know that Orlando Bloom was popping.
Oh, yeah.
Popping.
Mm-hmm.
When did Lord of the Rings come out?
2000?
2000? So 3 years later, homie hopped on to fucking
I think.
Pirates? Jesus. Dude, damn.
Yeah, 2001. And then the last one came out in 2003. He had two
Oh, shit.
great movies come out.
Wow.
Orlando Bloom was just on fire.
Mm-hmm.
He went from Legolas to Will Turner.
And then not to mention, Keira Knightley was in The Phantom Menace.
I know. I watched that the other day, and I was sitting there, I was like, that sure is there, isn't it?
Yeah, that definitely is. Yep. But yeah, so, I mean, I don't really know, like, again, I wanted to go way more in depth in this episode.
Did you know Michael Keaton auditioned for Jack Sparrow?
Ooh, no. Nope.
Hugh Jackman, he just wasn't a big enough star yet, apparently.
Hugh Jackman?
Yeah.
For Jack Sparrow?
Yeah.
What do you mean? He was in fucking X-Men at that time.
I don't know. Christopher Walken.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the black bow.
Who else?
Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
No way.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah, that would have been horrible. I'm sorry. I love Jim Carrey to death, but he does not fit in that world.
No. Matthew McConaughey. I love Matthew McConaughey,
All right.
Johnny Depp is
Looking for the black pearl here.
just comes in with a country accent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
I just arrived here in the Caribbean and looking for some tequila and the black pearl.
Oh.
That would have been fucking terrible. Holy shit. No way.
Robert,
That's not real.
Robert De Niro turned
That's
it
not
down.
real. He turned it down?
Because he didn't think it was going to be successful.
Yeah, that sounds like something he'd do. He kind of sounds like a dick.
Oh, yeah. Great actor, but a dickhead.
Yeah, he kind of whatever. Anyway, let's talk about Pirates.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay,
You got sidetracked.
So the movie begins. I'm gonna basically just do like a plot summary, I guess, of all three movies because I wanted to go more in depth, but whatever. So basically, the movie begins with a very ominous version of the classic Ride song, but instead of the more upbeat type of beat, it is creepily sung by a little girl, and it's like in an off key, and it's in a really misty sea and all this stuff. And this young girl is known as Elizabeth Swann. She is coming over from England to colonize this area in the Caribbean. Does it ever say specifically where it is?
No, not that I remember.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But we can find out.
Anywhere, some tropical island. Probably somewhere. Puerto Rico or somewhere.
Eli's home. Sorry.
Actually, no, he's not Puerto Rican.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's Mexican. Sorry.
So, yeah. Anyway, while she's sitting there singing randomly to herself about pirates, which is kind of weird, you'd think that somebody would have been like, stop. Which somebody does. His name's Gibbs. And he's one of the sailors that is on the boat with her coming over from England. And he later gets turned into a pirate.
One of the best.
Yeah.
It is a British settlement of Port Royal in Jamaica.
Jamaica?
No.
Oh. I did know it was Port Royal. I just forgot the name.
Yeah, Jamaica.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So while she's singing, she looks off the side of the boat and she sees a bunch of random stuff. First, it's an upturned umbrella, and then she sees a kid in the water, and she starts screaming, and then people come get him, and blah 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 blah. And then they bring him up onto the boat, and the kid kind of wakes up, and first of all, she just straight up steals this very expensive looking medallion off of him.
Straight jacked him.
Like straight up.
Straight. Like,
while he's unconscious.
It's like, give me your shit.
Just ripped it off of his fucking neck. That's wild to me.
But if he would have done that, he'd have been hung.
That's what I'm saying.
They would have hung his ass.
That's what I'm saying. So, yeah, she takes it and then just keeps it for like fucking 10 years. Like, what the fuck? So, yeah, the kid ends up waking up, kind of passes out. He says his name's Will Turner and whatever. She wakes up sometime later. She's a lot older now, and she was dreaming. She was like having a rememory dream. And she opens the drawer, and she finds the medallion necklace that she puts it back on and whatever. And I know, long story short, we end up getting back to Will. Will is now the apprentice of a blacksmith in Port Royal, which is where he's been working, presumably since he showed up there.
Yeah.
The actual blacksmith is fucking useless.
He's drunk. Kind of like Mike. I'm sorry.
Mike's not a drunk at all.
I'm sorry.
That's wildly inaccurate. That has nothing to do with anything. This is why he quit. This is why he left. Fuck. He's drinking now.
I'm the one that's sending the bottle.
Right? So yeah, the actual blacksmith, his name's Smith, right, or something like that?
I think so.
Yeah, he ends up,
sleeping all the time.
Yeah, he's sleeping all the time. He's drunk, and Will kind of just makes the stuff. But back in the day, you couldn't just tell people like, "No, fuck you. This is what I am doing." Like, he's not doing it. Otherwise, he could have been fired, or his title could have been whatever. It could have been really fucked up. So. Yeah. He just kind of goes with it and whatever. He makes the swords, and his boss takes the credit and whatever. It is what it is. He doesn't really like speak out against it. Like, you can tell it bothers him.
Yeah. But
it doesn't really like affect him in any way. Like, he's still probably getting paid.
Yeah.
Not
as much as he should be, but he understands.
Right. So why is he in? We see him in Elizabeth's house. Why is he in Elizabeth's house? So turns out that he is giving. Elizabeth's father is the governor.
Yeah.
Right? So he's the guy, he's the top guy of Port Royal. He's the English liaison, right, for the crown. He's the guy who is part of that parliament and moved over. So that's Elizabeth's dad, and he is promoting this guy named Norrington to Commodore, who, he would now be commanding the English fleet from Port Royal to, survey and kind of cover all of that area of the Caribbean. Will made him a sword. And you can tell that Will really knows what he's doing because he does all these fucking crazy cool tricks with it. And he flings it around and shit.
Bouncing it.
Yeah, and then he does the Thanos thing and puts it on his fingers.
Or Thanos did the Will Turner thing.
There we go. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Thanos is a Pirates fan, confirmed.
Yeah, there it is.
So, so he ends up kind of saying like it's a very pretty sword, cool, whatever. And the dad is something I do want to talk about because he's fucking annoying as shit. And like, I mean, you want to talk about a little bitch of a man?
Oh,
like, dude,
without a doubt.
like, bro, he's so like proper that it like he's just a bitch all the time. So, which I shouldn't have said like a little bitch of a man, but like, you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
I mean, that's the correct way to describe it.
So he, yeah, I don't know. Elizabeth comes down and they do like Will does like the I've been in love with you since forever thing and whatever, they leave. So then we see the one and only Captain Jack Sparrow come into Port Royal in a sinking boat. Where he got the boat, how it's sinking, who fucking knows?
No.
Who fucking knows?
But bro came in like a goat.
Yeah. So then we get the iconic shot of him sitting on the actual crow, like literally sitting like damn, like where not even the crow's nest because it's like a little sloop. It's not even like a real boat. It's like a tiny little buoy. And he comes into the port and it's sinking down. And he kind of steps onto the dock and he whatever. So upon arriving, everyone is basically like, "Hey, you need proper clearance to be here." Okay, cool. So then he kind of leaves his boat there. He bribes the boat dock guy into just letting him be like, "Okay, yeah, you're cool, just fine." So then,
but
he
then
leaves.
he steals from him too.
Yeah, he totally does. He takes it's a whole bag of fucking shillings,
pouch.
right? Yeah,
He just takes it.
So, excuse me. So, I lost my train of thought. He goes and he's looking for a ship.
Yeah.
He's looking for a ship so that he can go back and get the Black Pearl, but we don't know that yet. He just wants a ship. That's all he's telling anybody. So he goes into this big ship, and we get the two guard guys that kind of appear in the movies. I really want to know the story behind those guys. Like, were they producers? Were they writers? Because a lot of the time, those kind of roles get brought to like producers and stuff. So who knows? They could just be regular actors too. I'm not saying they couldn't be. I'm just.
But they're funny as hell. So.
Yeah, they are. And while they're arguing with each other about what to call the boat, or no, it's about the Black Pearl, because Jack brings up the Black Pearl.
Oh yeah,
and
talking about if it's real or not.
They're arguing about the ship and if it's real or not. So while they're arguing, Jack sneaks onto the Interceptor, I think, or no, he hasn't have the Interceptor yet.
No, it was another ship. I don't.
The Interceptor was the one that was way out
Yeah.
in the right, because that's the faster one.
Yeah,
that's like the crown jewel of the fleet.
Yeah.
So Jack obviously wants that one, but he's not going to say that yet, and we don't know that yet. But he's already planning for it. He already knows what he wants, and he knows what he's going to do. So the guys end up. They're sitting there on the boat arguing, and while they're doing this, Commodore Norrington is getting his promotion to Commodore, and Elizabeth earlier in the movie gets put into a corset, and she's like struggling with how to fucking breathe and those things and whatever. So while she's sitting there in the Jamaican heat, dying from not being able to fucking breathe, she passes out and falls into the water. Jack sees this and immediately goes in to save her. And now, I don't know if this is specifically because it touches the water, or if what the magic aspect is here. But the medallion that Elizabeth is wearing ends up getting that does this weird shockwave thing.
Yeah. And
it gets sent through the whole ocean.
I think it would. Does it hit the bottom of the ocean floor?
No, because it's on her. Because Jack takes it off of her.
Oh yeah, that's right. So maybe I think it would just have to be the water then. Because I mean, if you think about it, since she took it, you think she really took it out into the water? Since that happened, probably not. So I'd have to assume, it's from touching the water. But, Jack saves her. They pull her up, and he takes it, and then all the
and he's like, "Where did you get that?" Because he knows exactly what it is. He knows, but whatever.
Thinking back at it, that part when he says that, it kind of alludes to the end when he gets pushed into the moonlight, and
it could I guess you could see that, but I think it's more of the fact that Jack at this point, like Jack is very, I mean, he's a very shallow person. He just wants things in the moment.
Yeah.
You know, but he plans for things in the future to have rewards of things in the moment. It's weird. Like he doesn't make long-term plans for like to live happily ever after. He just wants to be a pirate and have fun and do cool shit. That's all he wants. So I think at this point in time, he sees that she has a medallion. He knows what the medallion is, and I think he already knows that he's going to use that as leverage against Barbossa to get his revenge on Barbossa for later.
Yeah.
All right. Again, we don't know any of this now, but we all know the movie. We've seen the fucking movie. We're not going to talk around it.
Yeah.
So the guys come up, and again, I've never fucking understood this, but everyone draws their guns on Jack and draw their swords on him, and they're like, "Who are you?" And they're like,
yeah,
but and they shackle him. They put him in fucking handcuffs.
Yeah, I think it was more the Commodore and her father, because Commodore is supposed to marry Elizabeth. Like that was.
Yeah, he's a bitch. I get it, and he wanted it. He's jealous.
Like,
I get it.
Hey, yo, you touched my woman?
And no, I get that, but also, you just watched him pull her out of the fucking water.
Right. You didn't see him jump off the cliff after her.
Yeah.
Right, bro was like, "Oh my god, Elizabeth."
Although it's implied that he kind of knows that Jack is a pirate off rip.
Yeah.
Because then he does the whole thing where he shakes his hand.
Oh, you want me to...
Shakes his hand, and then he goes like this, and he pulls his sleeve back, and you see the pirate brand on him. Yeah. Which I don't know how historically. Holy fuck! Anyone smell burnt toast? There's a pirate brand on Jack, and I don't know how historically accurate that is. I've never done any research on it, but I wonder if I would assume that pirate brands were a thing.
I mean, yeah.
If you get caught for piracy, they would either hang you or just straight up, or they would pirate brand you on your way to hang you, so they know what you did.
That way they know. I don't know. I feel like that's something that could have happened.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Yeah. I'm just saying, like. I'm curious to see how historically accurate the pirate branding is. Again, this is probably all explained in that fucking documentary that I know exists somewhere, but I don't know where the fuck it is or what it's called. Whatever. So they end up handcuffing Jack, and Jack is like, the whole pirate thing. Well, I saved your life, you're gonna save mine. So he takes Elizabeth around the neck like this, and he takes his things back, and then he escapes. And as he escapes, he says the famous line, "You will always remember this as the day you almost caught Captain Jack Sparrow." And he runs away, and it's this really cool big thing, and he's swinging around on the winch, and then he...
Got the epic music playing in the back.
And then he ends up escaping and running into the blacksmith shop where Will works. Mm-hmm. It's this really funny scene where he comes into the blacksmith shop and the blacksmith is sleeping, and he does that thing where he goes to see if he's awake, and then he like turns around and he goes, "What?" and yells in his face, and he doesn't wake up. And then he like just keeps going.
Yeah. That whole fight scene was amazing.
Yeah, and then Will shows up and they fight because he's a pirate and whatever. We're going to cut a long story short because we got 4 other movies to talk about. So basically, he finds out his name's Will Turner. He's the son of Bootstrap Bill Turner, who set the curse on the men for the Black Pearl. Jack ends up getting caught and gets sent to jail. And while he's in jail, we get the whole thing with the dog, the dog and the keys.
From the ride,
And the dog doesn't move. And Jack says, "You can keep doing that forever. The dog is never going to move." And he's not saying that about the dog. He's saying that about the animatronic. He's making a joke because the dog in the ride never moves. And you can do that forever, and the dog will never move.
I never realized that.
So he's making a little joke about that. So then the Black Pearl shows up because they got the message from their little medallion thing, and they are just fucking up Port Royal. Yeah. I mean, they come in and they are pillaging, plundering away, and one of the pirates, his name is Jacoby.
I know, I saw that a while ago when I was looking through the cast.
One of the pirates, his name is Jacoby, and it's the pirate that has the bombs.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. So the pirate with the bombs, and I know that because I played the Lego Pirates of the Caribbean game from way back in the day, and I knew that because on the little Lego token, his name was Jacoby. Pretty cool.
To answer your question earlier, they did get branded, but
For
not
why?
Huh?
For why?
This is from worldhistory.org. Doesn't say for why, but it just says there were numerous that were pirates were so numerous that those captured were often branded with the letter P on their foreheads.
Damn.
With a red hot iron.
Well, that would be. Yeah, I can see why they moved it to his wrist.
Yeah.
Because that would kind of fuck up the whole thing.
Yeah. Just put it right on his forehead.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Holy shit. What the fuck? Why were people so extreme with their mean. Like, what the fuck? So Will wakes up because the port is under siege and all this shit, and Will ends up getting knocked out. He wakes up and the whole port is destroyed and everybody's running around or whatever, and all the shops and shit are destroyed. And so then he runs straight up to the Commodore and he's like, "We need to go find Elizabeth." Because, the pirates took Elizabeth. Yeah. Well, took her.
Yeah. She
took her.
Parlay.
She said parlay.
Yeah.
And teaching the world what parlay means, it's when when you're requesting an audience with the captain of said crew. Yeah. So if you ever meet a pirate and you say parlay, that means I want to talk to the captain. And they'll be like, okay, according to their code, they have to agree, right?
Yeah.
So they take Elizabeth. Will wakes up and he goes straight to the Commodore and he starts making this whole big deal. And they're like, "What the fuck do you think we're doing? Like, if you have any idea of where we should start looking, please let us know."
Right.
You know? So then he brings it up and goes, "Hey, well, Jack's a pirate. He might know." And they're like, "Absolutely not. We don't deal with pirates. It's not happening." But Will, being Will,
said
fuck that, and he does it anyway.
No.
So Will goes to Jack. Jack says, "Yeah, the Black Pearl, it's a real thing, blah, 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 blah." And they, then we get to see how smart Will is because the hinges on the door. Turns out all Jack had to do was just lift up really hard, and he could have got out the entire time. So Will uses a bench, and he kind of pries it underneath, and he steps on it, and it lifts up. And then they go, and they're trying to get a ship. So then Jack goes back to that one ship where he met those two guards. He takes off with the ship. I don't know why it fucking does that.
I don't know either.
He takes off with the ship, and as he's going, the whole fort is like, "Hey, someone's taking the ship," and whatever. And they all run and they jump into the interceptor, and they chase after him. Now, the interceptor they jump into because it is very, very fast, and they say that. They make a point of saying that. So everybody jumps into this one boat, and they go after Jack. And as they go after Jack, they get over to the boat, they get onto the boat, and while everyone's onto that boat, Jack and Will swing over to the interceptor, and they take off in the fastest boat in the fleet. Okay. Okay. Good. Calm down.
All right.
Calm down.
So we have two new guests with us today. Halfway through the episode. Well, not even halfway probably, but we have Loki and Roxy.
Okay. This is Loki.
Hey.
So,
yeah.
Anyway, they get onto the interceptor and they go. And they go to Tortuga. And basically, Will tries to have some balls against Jack and says I forget what he says. He basically tells him, "We're doing this my way, and after we get Elizabeth back, you're going right back to jail," and all this shit.
Yeah.
And Jack's like, "Listen here, kid." And he turns the wheel like this, and the fucking, I forget what that thing's called.
The mast?
No, it's not the mast, but it's the thing that's connected to the mast of the sails. It swings and it hits him, and he's dangling over the boat. And he goes, "You got two options. I can either let you drown here, or you can work with me, and we can get your girl back, and I can go on my own. And now we're square. And let's just
leave it at that.
Leave it at that." So then he's like, "Okay," and he brings it back onto the boat, and they go to Tortuga to get pirates. So then we're in Tortuga, and this is the area of the movie where the ride is. Like, it's the heart of Pirates of the Caribbean. This is where all of the pirates are. So it's on fire. The song's playing in the background. Yeah. A lot of the a lot of the actors are moving like the animatronics do. It's very cool. Very, very cool. You're going to hear Loki in the background. She'll stop.
Just ignore her.
Mike, I don't know. Subtitle it.
Yeah, I don't know. Just throw in a woof every once in a while.
So now we get to Tortuga, and Tortuga, like I said, is the heart of where all the pirates are. So this is where we meet a now much older Gibbs, the guy from the boat, and he left the Royal Navy and became a pirate. So now he's a pirate, and he is sitting in a pig pen, which is disgusting. That's fucking gross.
Straight from the ride.
Like, yeah, he's the guy from the ride. Yeah. So Will throws a bucket of water on him, wakes him up, and as he's awake, and Jack's there talking to him, and then Will hits him again with water, and he's like, "Blast, I'm already awake!" And he's like, that was for the smell. So then they go into the bar, and they have Will, Jack's messing with Will, and he's like, "You might want to keep an eye on these guys because they're pirates. You know, they're gonna attack us. They're gonna hurt us, but they're no one gives a fuck that they're there."
Yeah.
So they're just putting Will on edge for no reason, and then Jack tells Gibbs who Will Turner is. He is the son of Bootstrap Bill, and that's apparently a big name to everybody in this movie and whatever. So Will overhears this and kind of knows that they're going to do some pirate shit to him. And whatever. So then they leave, and the next morning they gather their crew. And fucking wild appearance from Zoe Saldana.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, back
Young
then,
Zoe Saldana.
when you see it, you're like, oh, okay.
Well, she's not wearing green or blue makeup, so
Yeah.
you don't really notice that it's her.
Yeah. But now it's like, oh shit, it's Gamora.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and she's talked about this role before in the past, and she basically said that, yeah, it was fun, but she wanted to have a more prominent role in the movies, which I understand completely, which, back then, I don't really know. Again, I don't really know a whole lot about her career at the time, but I'm not really sure what type of stuff she was in prior to this.
Don't know.
Because again, Guardians was 2014 and Avatar was 206.
Repeat what?
Guardians was 2014 and Avatar was 2006 or 2009?
2009.
Just small movies?
Yeah. Drumline in 2002. I don't know what that is. So, black person movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
My grandma made me watch it. Great film. Great film. Yeah, small movies.
Okay. Well, yeah, so she wasn't really a very prominent actor, but she thought that this, obviously she probably thought that this was going to be a big role for, which I undoubtedly think it was at the time. But again, she didn't really have that big of a role, and she just basically yells at Jack Sparrow and Keira Knightley in this movie, primarily. Doesn't really do much else. Then we get Marty, who is the short person.
Eli, yeah. Sorry.
I'm trying to be not offensive for one fucking episode.
Sorry.
He's an actor with dwarfism, and he's been in a lot of stuff. He's kind of
he's a great actor.
He's kind of just a character actor that people throw into movies.
Yeah,
but he's a great actor. And he's the guy with the big gun, and when he shoots it, he flies back. And they added that to the Lego game too. That's how I know that.
That's awesome.
So he Again, I'm going to cut this really short because we got a lot more movies to get through. So, basically, I lost where I was.
We're talking about Marty.
You talk. What are we doing now? Where are we going? Oh, Elizabeth's been on the Black Pearl.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, she's been on the Black Pearl the entire time. I think the one scene that I really enjoy is her dad when he's on the Pearl. Or no, he's not on the Pearl.
When they're being attacked, but that's later though.
That's later though. Attacked.
Yeah, that's later though.
Yeah, I know. I was just trying to move ahead because we got 4 more movies to talk about.
And I want to talk about this part because Elizabeth finds out that the pirates are cursed, aka cursed the Black Pearl. And basically, Barbossa is telling her about this whole story about they stole some treasure, and the entire crew, went out and they sold it and whatever. And then they found out, as weeks went on, they started to realize that their bodies were like deteriorating, and they couldn't taste things anymore. They can't feel things anymore, and all this weird shit. And then they step out in the moonlight. And they turn into skeletons. Dun dun dun.
So cool.
And then you get the really cool part where it's the long take of Barbossa walking kind of toward the camera, and his face morphs into a skeleton. Great and he effects. Says, "You best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Turner. You're in one."
Yeah.
Oh, also we should have mentioned that when she gets to the pirate ship, she tells the pirates that her last name is Turner, so they think that she is the offspring of Bootstrap Bill, which is bad news bears for her. Yeah. So she literally could have picked any other fucking name. She could have picked any other name, but she didn't.
She's in love with Will.
Yeah, but any other fucking name. Any other name. They probably would have let her go. They honestly probably would have let her go.
Probably. But, then that just ruins the whole movie.
I know. But, girl, be fucking for real. Whatever. So, anywho, they get to the island with Elizabeth, and they basically explain they have to return all of the gold that they stole from this little Aztec chest from some guy named Cortez.
Yeah, and the coin she has is the last one.
Right, yeah. The last one that they need. So, which Bootstrap Bill had put onto Will, and if that bitch Elizabeth didn't fucking straight up steal it, he probably still would have fucking had it.
True.
But since she just has to be fucking stupid and grab shit without asking anybody or telling anybody, so Elizabeth gets dragged into this giant cave, and there's all this treasure and all this gold in here and whatever. So then all the pirates are trying to be cured, and they cut. Basically, what you got to do, it's a blood thing. So you got to return all the gold, and you have to spill your own blood inside the thing, the big chest of it, and that will reset the curse. Yeah. So she cuts her hand, or they cut her hand, I should say, and kind of move it around in the coin, and then they drop it in, and they expect a change, and nothing happens. At this point, also, Will and Jack are there at the same time. They're also there.
Yes, with the Commodore and all them, because then they make...
Nope. That's yet. Way later. Oh. Way later. I thought it was they come back to this spot 3 or 4 times in the movie.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Well, twice, I should say, but it's not till later. So... also around this time is when we find out what happened to Jack and why he does not like Barbossa and what happened to the Pearl. And then we find out that Captain Jack Sparrow used to captain the Black Pearl himself.
Nope.
And the crew, led by Barbossa, did a mutiny, and they took the Pearl from him, and they abandoned him on this desert island with one shot and something else. Like his compass... Yeah. His sword and all this shit, and then a gun with one shot. That's the main thing. Yeah. And the entire movie, earlier in when Will and Jack were fighting in the blacksmith thing, he loads the shot and he's going to shoot him, and he says, "This shot is not meant for you." Yeah. And then the blacksmith actually does something with his fucking life and knocks out Jack. So
and then takes all the credit.
Yeah. So then, so we find out that Barbossa did a mutiny on Jack. They left him on this island, and Jack has been saving this one shot so that he could finally fucking kill Barbossa. That's his whole plan. He wants to use that one bullet, that one shot that Barbossa gave him, and use it on him.
Talk about holding a grudge.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy.
That's dedication right there.
Yeah, dude. Out of all the people, I mean, let's be real. Like, what situations are you going to get yourself into at this point in time? I mean, yeah, he's a pirate, but he hasn't really been doing anything since he got off the island.
Yeah.
So, whatever. So then they end up finding out that Elizabeth is not who she says she is. She's not a Turner, so the curse does not work. It's not lifted. And he gets pissed and he smacks her off the thing, and she rolls down, and then Will comes and grabs her, and they escape with her, and they get her back to the interceptor. And then Jack is kind of stumbling around. Oh, he also knocks out Jack because Jack basically planned to hold Will like over Barbossa's head and be like, I know who you need. I know who you need. And, if you want to get him back, then I'll take my shit back and you can take him back and you cannot be cursed anymore. That's his whole plan. So he knocks out Jack and leaves him there. And then Jack wakes up and he kind of was walking around, and all the pirates are looking for Elizabeth because they don't know where she went.
Yeah.
So then Jack kind of stumbles into all of them, and they kind of all surround him. And then Barbossa comes out and he's like, how the hell did you get off the island? What happened? So Jack's probably had been like spinning tales about how he actually did it, and we find out what he actually did later. So they take Jack back to the Black Pearl, and they're kind of holding him prisoner there. They go after the interceptor, and they start. This is the scene where they start loading everything off.
Yeah.
Because to go faster, to whatever. Because the Black Pearl, the interceptor's fast, but the Black Pearl's faster.
Way faster.
So, they're catching up and whatever. Then it turns into a big fight, and then they end up taking the entire crew. They release the crew. Elizabeth stays on the ship with Jack, and then and Will does too because they need him. And then, they banish Elizabeth and Jack again on the same island that Jack was on. They never really say how long ago it was.
No, they don't.
But you can presume that it was a little while ago.
Yeah.
So, because of what Jack says in the scene coming up. So they get on the island, and Elizabeth's like, we have to get off of here. How did you do it last time? And all this, whatever. So then you see Jack kind of just doing random shit. Like he goes up to this tree and he like knocks on it. And then he takes like 3 or 4 big paces forward. And he opens up this big thing, and it's a fucking rum stash. So then Jack explains that he was only on the island last time for 3 days. And
Goat.
2 of those days were him lying on a beach drinking rum. Because there was a big rum trading company that would use this island as a stash. And they would come here, they would resupply it, and they would go back to, and they would go sell. While they were on their trip, Jack stowed a ride. He got off the island, and he, escaped.
Yeah.
But because of Norrington, he's been cracking down on piracy and on the thing in this area of the Caribbean. So that whole company doesn't exist anymore. So they are actually stranded on this island this time, and there is no way to get off. And Jack's plan is to just lie on the beach and drink rum until he dies again, or just figure out something until to get off.
I mean, it sounds like a good plan to me.
Yeah, that's literally just all the character of Jack Sparrow is. Like,
Rum.
okay, well, I'm fucked. So I'm just gonna kind of chill here until something happens. Yeah. Like that's literally his entire personality. So then Elizabeth comes up with the idea of burning the rum. She, drinks with Jack until he passes out, and then she uses the rest of the rum and she burns it to make a big smoke thing. And then, Norrington and her father pick her up. She convinces them to go help Will. They go get Will, and there's this whole big fight scene at the end of the movie, and all the Jack convinces all the pirates to leave and go attack the Navy, and then whatever. And then they end up
great fight scene.
They end up getting cured, Then Jack, does this thing where he takes one of the chips, and now he is cursed.
Yeah.
So then he steps in the moonlight, and he turns into a ghost guy, skeleton guy. And he does this thing with his hand. He like moves it between his fingers. I just watched this scene this morning. And then, happily ever after. Except Jack is now being charged with piracy and is about to be hanged. And Will comes back to Port Royal, and he's relieved of his charges of being a pirate for the time being. And he helps free Jack from being hanged. And then, you know, he escapes, and it's the part where he's saying that he almost caught Captain Jack Sparrow, and he falls off.
Yeah.
He falls in the water, and then he swims to the Black Pearl and Elizabeth, and, Norrington realizes he's being cucked.
Oh, yeah.
So
Big
then
time.
he's like, "This is where your heart truly lies." And then, they make out, in front of Norrington. And I'm pretty sure, if it was any other time period, Will would have been like, right to Norrington.
I definitely would have done that.
As you're making out with her, just,
Yeah,
And then, end movie. Roll credits.
And that's the only Pirates movie they ever made.
Yeah.
No.
And then we get, I'm pretty sure this is where they got it from. Bring Me the Horizon. I'm pretty sure they took the line at the end of this movie. Bring me that horizon.
Really?
I mean, come on. Where else would you have gotten it from?
Yeah, that's true.
I think. At least I think. I'm not sure if that's 100% right. I'm not a fan of Bring Me the Horizon, but I do. I think that could be the case. So we're going to speed run the last 4 movies.
Yep.
So, number 2, they meet Davy
says-
Jones. Davy Jones is the fucking coolest villain in cinema history, in my opinion.
And the CG they do for him still
I
holds
think
up
he is
to this day.
coolest, most badass. He talks the coolest. He acts the coolest. He looks the coolest. He's fucking awesome. His theme song is insane. Play it. Like, bro. We're probably going to get copyrighted for that, so we're going to have to cut that out, probably. We're probably going to have to cut that out. But it's really fucking
it's
cool.
really good.
So we're introduced to Davy Jones. Basically, Jack he's in a pickle because Davy Jones told him a long time ago that he had to get, what was it, 100 souls?
Yes.
Or it was a lower number than that or something, I thought. Basically, Jack found himself in Davy Jones' locker a long time ago.
Yeah.
And Davy Jones, because he's Jack Sparrow, he negotiated his way out of it. But Jack does not think long term. So he was told that he had to get a number of souls for Davy Jones. And he didn't deliver on his promise. So Davy Jones comes to collect him instead.
Made $1 billion at the box office.
The second one?
Yeah.
$1 billion?
Yeah. With a budget of $225 million.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
I don't think there's how many movies in history have made $1 billion? Over $1 billion.
That's a great question. I'll find out.
Side tangent, hold on. We're researching.
Oh,
We should have done this prior,
shit.
but Wes doesn't do anything ahead of time. Except plug in the battery for the camera, which sometimes he even forgets that.
Avatar,
Oh, okay.
the live action Lion King.
Okay.
Oh, wait. No, it came close to $1 billion.
Anyway, while he's looking at that, I'm going to keep going with the story. So, yeah. Basically, was it this movie where they're getting married or no? Where their wedding gets broken up? No.
No. That's at World's End.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this movie then... Oh, no, this is the one where they start off in China.
Yes, at with the Singapore. They're
And
in
we get
Singapore.
the Hoist the Colors
Yeah.
song in the beginning. So
Avatar, Endgame, Avatar: The Way of the Water, Titanic, Force Awakens, Infinity War, No Way Home, Jurassic World.
So basically all the biggest movies at the box office.
Live action Lion King, the original Avengers, Furious 7, Top Gun Maverick, Frozen 2, Barbie,
Okay.
Age of Ultron.
Yeah, so just look at the box office, the greatest box office runs, and you'll... Okay, whatever. So, anyway. So this movie starts in China. And, what?
Last Jedi made $1 billion, bitches. Sorry. Sorry.
Go watch the last episode.
Yeah, watch the last episode.
So now we start the movie in China, and everyone's looking for Jack Sparrow. No one knows where he is. He's and they don't really explain it, but basically we find out that he's hiding from Davy Jones. Mm-hmm. This is why he's gone, and no one knows where he's at because he's been hiding from the big man coming to take his bounty on him. So yeah, so Jack is he ends up getting brought into, to go see Davy Jones, and Davy Jones tells him, okay, fine, well, because you ran out on me last time, I don't really trust you, so you're either going to come with me now, or I'll double it, and now you have to get me 100 souls in 3 days.
That's crazy.
100 souls in 3 days, especially at this time. Like, I feel like if Davy Jones came up to me now and was like, yo, give me 100 souls and I'll, double it, give it to the next person.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's ways to do it.
Yeah,
you can just walk into a Comic-Con, have like a pretend petition or something, and have people unwillingly signing their souls away to Davy Jones. There's ways to do it, is what I'm saying. Jack, back then,
was a lot of options.
He's kind of fucking screwed.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a whole lot of options to do. So he basically goes to Tortuga with Gibbs and is trying to like fashion a ship together really quick, and he's trying to get 100 souls, and it's not really working. And then they end up bumping into an old friend who's Commodore Norrington, who lost his title and all this shit because he let Will go and not be a pirate. Yeah. Or not be charged of being a pirate. So then this really short asshole guy comes in, and he's the head of the East India Trading Company.
Oh yeah, I was just looking at his.
And I've never known this dude's name. Every time I watch this movie, I have no idea what it. Like, they say his name, I just don't care enough to know what it is.
Ian Mercer.
Huh.
What a bland name. All right.
That's his actual, like, the character name?
Yeah.
Ian Merchant.
Mercer.
Yeah.
Mercer.
Yeah, that's stupid. Anyway.
That's probably why we didn't remember it.
That's literally why we didn't remember it. That's horrible. Anyway, so that guy comes in, and he basically is telling the Commodore and the Governor, like, both of you are now under arrest because you are now aiding and abetting pirates. Because of what Will did and what Elizabeth did too. Elizabeth was known in an act of piracy, so now whatever. That's why she's running away too. That's why she's gone from Port Royal when we see her in the beginning of the movie. So then they get the spiral thing, the spiral map, which plays an integral part in the next fucking 3 movies, and it basically whatever. So. All the pirates are going and looking for Jack because of a reason. I don't know why. I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
But it's a big reason.
Was it when they were trying to summon the Brethren court or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to fight against the short dude in Port Royal. They're trying to fight against him. Yeah. Mercer,
yeah.
So they're banding together as all the pirates to fight back against him and whatever. So Barbossa's there because we find out that he's not here yet. He's not here yet.
He doesn't come up
until the end.
Yeah.
So then we get like the part where they're in the ice and whatever and all that shit. And then is it at this part? No, that's the third one. See, the third one and the second one you can mesh together because they were supposed to be the same movie.
Yeah, they were.
I knew that. That's why the third one's so fucking long. They're supposed to be the same movie.
Wait. I think the second one is when their wedding gets interrupted.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Because at the end of the third one is when they do get married while they're all fighting. And everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was right.
You were right.
I was right. I was right. So
my fault. I'll renege here and take back what I said.
What?
You don't know that saying?
You'll what?
Renege. You don't know that saying?
No.
It's like going back on something you said.
Yeah, I'm not saying that though.
No, you don't have to. That's why I'm saying I'll yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. So I apologize. This movie does not start in China. That is motherfucker. I feel like
Oh
No.
no! This is the one
No.
where he's on that island with those cannibalistic people. Remember that they
Yes!
go and save him,
yes,
and you get that epic scene
Yes!
when he's running
yes
on the beach, and they're all
fuck.
yeah,
God damn it. Yes.
yeah. We're stupid.
He's
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
fucking island with the cannibal people. Fuck.
And they
Yeah.
find him, and they're telling, and he's like the leader, and he's talking all weirdly and shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shit. God damn. Yes.
Oh, great.
Why could God damn it? Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, that. I mean, because Davy Jones in the second one doesn't even really show up until more than halfway through the film, like fully.
Yeah, but he's an integral part of the plot.
No,
Like,
yeah, he
he's-
is.
Yeah. So I apologize. All that shit that we just said for the past fucking 15 minutes. That
Yeah.
shit is all way later.
That's all in the other movie.
It's later in this movie
Oh, excuse me.
because we meet Davy Jones. He tells him about the deal.
Oh, yeah.
Them they meet Norrington, and Norrington is all fucked up and whatever. Because then they go and they fight for his heart at the end of this one, and that's the whole the windmill thing.
Oh yeah, him,
Him willing Norrington or not
Yeah.
Norrington. Yeah.
him, yeah, and then Elizabeth and them take the heart, and then they're all on the ship afterwards, and Elizabeth.
This is all fucking over the place. Basically,
Elizabeth is kissing Jack, and Will sees it, but she ties him to the post.
yeah.
And then the Kraken comes, and
But that's that's at the end. So okay. Sorry. Okay. Yep. So
we're
okay.
not organized at
Okay.
all. Mike's
Yeah.
not here, so.
So okay. So. So yeah, we start with we actually start this film with the fucking cannibal people.
Yeah.
They're trying to eat Jack. He escapes, and you get the whole thing with him running down the beach, and then all the people come after him.
Yeah,
They get on the Black Pearl, and they leave.
Yeah, this real quick, that scene when they're in the ball cages and they swing back
Yeah.
and forth. I love that scene. That's a great scene. But yeah,
Yes.
they escape.
So-
Whatever, they get away.
They leave, and this movie does start in China. It does, and it ends up taking them to this island, and they find Jack and all this shit. Okay. Now. Wait, no.
No, because the third one is when they're in Singapore. It starts with the third one starts with all those pirates singing "Hoist Colors,"
Yeah.
and then it changes after
Oh, and then we get,
they get hung, and it
and then it goes
peers
to the
over
wedding.
to
The wedding.
no, it goes right into Singapore with Elizabeth
And
singing
then
the same
later
song.
we get the wedding.
Yeah, Elizabeth is singing the same song.
Motherfucker, this shit's okay. To be fair, the third movie's like 3 hours long.
Oh,
It's a
'cause
long fucking
The second
movie.
film, it's 2.5 hours. Third film is
It's like 2:48.
2:48.
It's a long fucking movie.
Yeah.
Like it very well could be split into two different movies.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
long. It's long.
Definitely.
So apologies for getting them confused because they do deal with the same exact like verbatim. It's the same storyline. It's like days after.
Yeah.
Like so yeah. Anyway, this movie basically is just Jack trying to get 100 souls to sell to Davy Jones. He doesn't get it.
No.
And this is also where Will ends up going to meet his father for the first time on the Flying Dutchman, and he meets Bootstrap Bill Turner, who's played by Stellan Skarsgård. And
Is the second one when he plays that game with Bootstrap Bill and Davy Jones? Oh, that scene is so good and intense.
yeah,
God, the guy who plays Davy Jones, Bill
Bill Naughton,
Nye or something.
Nye,
Like that.
yeah, Bill Nye.
He's-
His name is literally Bill Nye.
If you've seen, I don't know if you've seen the Underworld movies.
No,
Oh, dude, he's in those, and he plays like the head vampire or whatever. Oh, he's such a good actor.
I mean, listen, he's Davy Jones.
No, he is Davy Jones, but he's also really good in Underworld.
Yeah, but I mean, just this character, he's top 5 movie villains of
Oh,
all
yeah.
time.
Yeah,
Like
Maybe-
Vader's
top
up there.
3.
Yeah, Vader's up. I think literally like the top 3 is like
Vader, Davy.
Vader, Davy Jones, and I don't even know who else. It'll come to me later.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, like they're two of like classic most villains of all time. And a big part of that is the performance and the CGI.
Dude,
if the CGI was off even a little bit, it wouldn't have worked.
No, but the CGI is
Like they spent so long on the CGI, it's not even funny.
well, I mean, because that's the good thing with these films, and they did it with the Planet of the Apes films. Like they tell their CGI artists and everything, like take your time. They don't do what Marvel does and say, "Hey, you got 2 weeks, or you got a month."
Even when they do use CGI, they're doing it on a practical set. So it's real lighting and it's a real set and all of this shit. The only thing that's CGI is the actors. So all the people that were playing Davy Jones's crew were just wearing mocap suits. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Everything else was all practical, even in the first one.
Yeah. I mean,
they're shooting on real pirate ships. They're shooting in the middle of real water.
Yeah.
Like a lot of water stunts, all that shit. Like it's all real. I mean, obviously, for the big shit later, they use CGI because I mean, you can't
Obviously.
whatever. Like for the Kraken and all that, that's all CGI.
I mean, but even that looks great.
Yeah, it doesn't look fake.
No.
It doesn't look bullshit.
No.
Like Marvel's does.
Fuck you, Marvel. Sorry.
Like, bro, pay your fucking people more and let them take their time, and they will do it right. Like, the Hulk in the first Avengers looks great,
Yeah, you did.
but it just later it looks dumb. It looks like a cartoon, and Pirates never did that. They always took their time.
They did, and
It paid off. It absolutely paid off. It's one of the highest grossing film franchises of all fucking time. It's amazing. And Davy Jones is a staple of it. What?
the fourth film.
Yeah.
I'm skipping ahead here. Also made $1 billion.
Because they took a hiatus.
Yeah.
Because they were released year by year at that point,
Yeah.
or before that. And then they took a huge hiatus later. Because I was around for that fourth one. Well, I was around for all of them, technically. But I mean,
I remember seeing the fourth and then the most previous one in theaters. The other ones I didn't see in theaters, unfortunately. But
I didn't see the newest one in theaters. I saw it on Disney Plus. And to be honest, it wasn't. I can live with that. The last one wasn't great. Anyway, in the movie, Jack fights the Kraken by himself, and it's pretty fucking cool.
it was really cool.
And the movie ends with him looking into the gaping maw of the fucking Kraken, and everyone else escapes, and everything is looking okay, and Will and Elizabeth are going to go get married, and Barbossa's alive because they did the whole...
Because what's her name brings him back?
Calypso.
Yeah, or Tia Damala, because she hasn't been revealed as Calypso yet.
But she's... she's...
But you know she's Calypso.
Yeah. And she's also played by the actress who was in 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
Who made her big prominent role.
Naomi Harris.
Yes, and she's also in Venom Let There Be Carnage as Scream.
Yep.
So yeah, Barbossa's alive. Jack is supposedly dead, and the heart of Davy Jones is now with the Navy.
Yes, and they basically control him now.
Because they own him.
Yeah, and I mean, and then in the third one, like we said, it starts off with all those pirates singing "Hoist the Colors High," then it pans to
And all pirates in the world now are being condemned and found and hung. And it's getting so bad that it's not even like a ceremony anymore. It's just you're getting lined up and we're hanging all of you. Day in, day out. There's so many pirates that they're just killing all of them.
Yeah.
So then we find out that Davy Jones, like we said, is now being owned by the Royal Navy. They have his heart, and any type of out of line thing that he does, they're like, okay, well, we'll just kill you.
Yeah.
And we'll take, and we'll take over for you. So basically, they're using Davy Jones as his incredibly strong connection to the sea and all of this as a way to find pirates. So this is where we get to China. Yes.
Yeah, Singapore.
And they end up, now they're like, everyone thinks Jack is dead.
Yeah.
Because he died fighting the Kraken.
Well, right, and then
Which technically, he did die. He died.
He did.
He died.
Because they go there because they need to talk to, I don't know, the head pirate for Singapore or whatever, because they're trying to get the court together, but they need Jack.
Yes.
Because he's part of the court.
But he's dead.
But he's dead, so they're trying to get him out of
Davy Jones' locker. So I'm trying to find where to go to get out of Davy Jones' locker. That's the whole point of the movie. Mm-hmm. So this is where we get the cool, weird shit where they go to the Arctic and then they do the thing where they but that's not till later.
That's coming back, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so then they end up this is where we get that scene where Jack and he's just in the desert with the Pearl. Yeah. And the Pearl's being manned by a crew that's all Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, and then he with the peanut and you see the
peanut. Yeah.
The little rock crabs.
Yeah, the rock crabs and all the weird this is the weird one.
Yeah, and then they get there too, and then as they get there, you see the Pearl coming over the sand.
It's over the sand, but there's water coming out of it's fucking hard.
Yeah.
Again, this is all CGI and it looks fucking amazing. It looks great.
And the best part of that whole scene is Jack sees them and doesn't think any of them are real.
No, he thinks they're all in his head. So he's fucking with all of them. And they're like, Jack, we're here to save you. And he's like, okay.
It's like, okay, sure.
He's beyond fucking cooked at this point. He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
So they end up going back out to sea, and they realize that the map is lined up a certain way where the boat's flipped upside down, and then there's a horizon thing.
Yeah,
right?
And I love how that whole scene, they can't figure it out. And Jack is just sitting there, and he goes,
Yeah.
He just starts running back and forth, and they're all
everyone thinks that he's looking at something on the side of the boat.
And then Barbossa goes up to the map and he goes,
yeah, and then Barbossa gets it, and then he starts running, and then everyone starts running,
and then the two idiots who tie themselves upside down.
Yeah, they're like, dude. Which undoubtedly, that would be me and Mike.
Oh, facts.
That would be my stupid idea to be like, that'd be dude.
Yeah.
Let's tie ourselves to the mast upside down. So when everyone else is upside down, we're right side up. Yeah. Which they are, but they're underwater, so it doesn't. And they're tied down underwater, so it doesn't fucking matter. That was awesome. And then when they come back up, they're still upside down. So they basically figure out that the only way to get out of Davy Jones' locker is to flip the boat upside down right at dusk, right as the sun is going over the horizon, because then it'll sink under the water and it'll transport them back, and then the sun will be back, where on the other side of the earth.
It'll be rising, yeah.
Right. So they do it, and it's a really, really cool scene. It's really funny. And then they do end up meeting with all the pirates. They end up meeting with all the big pirate kings of the world, and we're skipping some stuff, but again.
And then don't we meet Jack's uncle?
Okay. Funny thing,
and that's
this is Jack's father.
Oh, that's his father, right.
And it's the lead guitarist of the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
And this is a funny thing because, if you don't know, Johnny Depp is actually in a band with Alice Cooper and a couple of other really big names in classic rock. I always forget what the band name is called.
I don't remember either.
But they did a cover of "Whole Lotta Love" by Led Zeppelin. That shit's hard.
Yeah,
sounds good. And so. Yeah, all of Johnny Depp's relatives in these movies. So they meet his dad and they meet his uncle, and his uncle in the fifth movie,
Stranger Tides,
is it's fucking not Stranger Tides. Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Oh yeah, we did meet him in that one. Sorry,
and it's Paul McCartney.
Yeah,
from the Beatles.
I love it, bro.
It's really good. It's really fucking funny. So yeah, then the pirates basically declare war on the Royal Navy, and they're like, "We're gonna fuck all you up." And then we get that one classically, infamously hilarious scene that's not supposed to be funny. And in the context of the movie, it's actually really kind of depressing. But the pirate, I think Davy Jones ends up getting his heart back. I got a jar of dirt.
Oh yeah.
So I think they end up getting the heart back. I don't really know how or when or whatever. But they end up getting the heart back, and so Davy Jones tears through the Royal Navy ship. I mean, fucks him up bad.
Yeah.
And it just destroys that guy, that one dude, the short guy.
Isn't that the scene where...
Yeah, it's all slow motion.
And he's just walking.
Yeah. That's why I said it's infamously hilarious, but it's not supposed to be.
No, not at all.
But then, the pirates declare war on the Royal Navy, and they end up going and they fuck shit up, and then we get the awesome ending, one of the coolest fucking endings to any movie. Like it's up there with like Endgame.
Oh yeah,
probably better than Endgame.
Probably.
Like it's
that whole just him and Davy fighting,
and then fucking Barbossa is marrying Will and Elizabeth as they're fighting, and then
there's if you look this up on YouTube, you can look up that fight battle and somebody put lightsabers as their swords. It's sick.
It's so cool.
It is so
it's
sick.
Actually really cool.
Please go watch it.
But they're not like classic lightsabers. They're like orange and green, like a lime coral green color. It's really cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
So they're basically the entire time. Jack has the heart, and it's not really. I'm not sure what he's trying to do with it, because he's not trying to kill him. Because basically the rule is, if you kill Davy Jones you have to cut out your own heart and replace his heart. Otherwise, all the magic and whatever gets like unleashed on the world, and it's bad.
Yeah,
or something like that. It's something along those lines. Or that the Davy Jones is like the only person that's keeping Calypso at bay.
Yeah,
or something like that. So you have it's basically, if you stab the heart, you have to replace it with your heart. And who stabs the heart? Right after he fucking got married, Will Turner. Very, very sad, because he was about to die, and then Jack, I think, stabbed the heart for him so that he would live and be alive. Yeah. So here's one thing that this is kind of funny. So now Elizabeth and Will have entered in this weird relationship where now Will, and this is established way early in the movie, Will can only resurface, what is it, every 10 years?
Yeah, once every 10 years they can go on land.
One day every 10 years, Will can come back to land. Mm-hmm. That, dude, talk about long distance.
Right?
Holy fuck. She's got to love him a whole lot to be faithful. 10 years. Fucking years, dude.
10 years?
Get the fuck out.
I wish somebody would wait for me like that.
That's what I'm saying, bro. What? That's crazy. 10 years? No way. No way. So, yeah, so Will becomes the new Davy Jones, and he's all different now, and he starts growing barnacles and shit out of his face.
But they never really fully turn into like creatures.
It's
like
not till later.
Davy Jones.
Yeah. Because Will was going to be like, it's kind of alluded to that he's running like a better version of it.
Yeah,
like he's not like stealing souls anymore. He's just
he's doing what Davy Jones was supposed to do. Because in that movie,
yeah,
when they're coming back, Calypso sees all the bodies just floating in the water, and he's supposed to be guiding them to the afterlife.
And that's what it is.
Yeah, and he's not.
So if there's no Davy Jones, no one does that. That's the problem. Okay. Yeah, and this is also where we find out earlier in the movie when this is happening, and we see all this, that Elizabeth's father died.
Yeah, that was
he was killed.
That was a sad part.
Yeah, that's part's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like she's calling to him on the side of the boat, and he's not acknowledging her at first, and then he does acknowledge her, and he's like confused and scared, and it's fucking horrible. Like
she throws the rope and he just lets it go. And
it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking scene.
Yeah.
And then so that's basically the wrap up that movie.
Yeah, but let's talk about the GOAT for these past two movies, Hans Zimmerman.
Yes, we got to talk about this. Hans Zimmerman.
Yeah, dude.
So the first movie, Hans Zimmerman, let's be clear about this. Hans Zimmerman did the score for all of the Pirates movies, every single one. However, on the first movie, if you look at it, the music says that it is not composed by Hans Zimmerman.
Yeah.
But that's not true.
Yeah.
Hans Zimmerman did do the music, but he had his buddy take credit for it because Hans Zimmerman was locked into a contract where he was working on The Last Samurai.
Oh yeah.
Yes, with Tom Cruise. So he couldn't legally. He was not able to have his name on the movie. But he still wrote. He wrote all of the score in one night.
Dude, he loves Pirates probably more than anybody. Mm-hmm. He Like I want to, you know, the concert he does, and he goes. I keep seeing clips on it on TikTok. I want.
It's like Danny Elfman. Danny Elfman does the same thing.
I want to go and see.
We
that.
should.
We should. Let's go.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, we'll make it a bro date night.
Facts.
Yeah.
We need one of those, bro. It's been too long.
Yeah.
You'll never fucking
Mackenzie
ask
can
me.
stay at home.
You'll never ask me to do shit no more, bro. Bro gets a girlfriend and all of a sudden he's not dating me anymore. Type shit. This is see. Yeah. So that happened. Now we're into the fourth one. The fourth one was cool.
I like the fourth one. I'm gonna be honest. I like all of them, even the most
I
recent
don't like
one.
the fifth one.
The fifth one I do like,
It's boring.
but it's my least favorite one.
And it looks the most fake.
Oh yeah, because I don't think they did it the same way they did the other ones, as far as like CGI and practical sets and everything.
Yeah.
The concept is cool. The story's cool, but the visuals kind of throw me off. And just like,
Yeah.
But the fourth one,
The fourth one's good.
Blackbeard.
Oh, played by fucking Ian Macbeth.
Ian McShane.
Macbeth. Wow. Ian McShane. Yeah.
And
Also the voice of Mr. Bobinski from Coraline. You can't see my tattoo, but it's there.
Stranger Tides.
Stranger Tides. This is where we also get Penelope Cruz as Blackbeard's daughter. Gibbs is back. Gibbs has been in all the movies, but he's back again. Barbosa is back in a very crazy role. So Barbosa lost the pearl to Blackbeard. So Blackbeard does this thing where he'll, shrink. He's the brainiac. He's the brainiac of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
So he'll go up and he'll shrink their boats into teeny tiny boats, and then he'll put them into bottles. And they're real. They're like live, real boats. But whatever. It's never really explained what's going on with Davy Jones. He's just a voodoo guy. That's what they say. Like he's got voodoo dolls of people, and he like has zombies and shit. And like they don't really explain it.
You said Davy Jones?
I apologize. Blackbeard. I apologize.
No, you're good.
So he is obviously on the Queen Anne's Revenge. And Davy Jones is a real pirate, but he was not like this.
No.
Edward Thatcher is his name.
You keep saying Davy Jones.
Fuck. Blackbeard. Blackbeard. Edward Thatcher. Blackbeard. The Queen Anne's Revenge.
Yeah.
Davy Jones is the Flying Dutchman. Blackbeard is Ian McShane, and yeah, okay.
This is the one where they're going to the Fountain of Youth, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
they're looking for the Fountain of Youth, and basically the plot of the movie is because all the English people are dead, like Norrington's dead, and fucking everybody's gone.
Yeah.
Port Royal's gone, all of it.
Yeah.
So now we're getting to Jack is supposed to be getting hanged, and then Gibbs gets him out of it. No, I'm sorry.
No.
Yes, he was supposed to be getting hanged, but Jack Sparrow takes over for the judge. He kidnaps the judge.
Oh, yeah.
And plays the judge and has Gibbs go on the stand as Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
And take the fall, basically. And then they get him out. And they, whatever. They get back to not the pearl, because the pearl's gone.
Yeah.
Which Barbosa explains later. Actually earlier. No, later. Because they get out and he gets captured again. Jack does. And he gets brought in front of this king. Yeah, it's king.
Yeah.
So he gets brought in front of a king. And the king says, the Spanish are looking for the Fountain of Youth. And we want you to find it before they do. Because if they find it, they're going to be reigning forever. And we can't have that.
Right.
Okay, cool. We'll find the Fountain of Youth. So then Barbosa enters the room, but he's got a peg leg now, and he's all powdered face, and he's got a powdered wig, and he looks really weird.
Yeah.
And he basically explains that he lost the pearl, and instead of becoming a pirate again, he decided that he would join the side of good and get the learn where the Fountain of Youth and all this stuff was and whatever. Obviously, he's lying. That's not what's happening. He is joining the Royal Navy so that he can have an access to find where Blackbeard is so that he can kill Blackbeard and get his revenge.
Yeah.
Now, Jack is trying to find a crew so that he can go find the Fountain of Youth. So he goes to Tortuga to find. No, actually, he follows this one guy who is this big actor. I don't know his name. The guy who plays who's playing the song and his like new right hand man. That is on the Queen Anne's Revenge with him.
Isn't it the guy who plays Philip?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you what his name is. Show me the thing. Let me see.
Sam Coffin? No.
Nope.
Let's just see.
What the fuck is it? That guy.
This
Stephen
guy?
Graham.
This guy? Oh, yeah.
That
Scrum.
dude. Scrum. That's his name. He meets Scrum. And Scrum is gathering actually, no. Scrum is actually a double agent, kind of. He's working for the Queen Anne's Revenge, I think. No?
I think so.
But he is gathering people so that he can go on to the Queen Anne's Revenge for Blackbeard. And, here's the plot. Someone's running around pretending to be Jack Sparrow.
Oh, yeah. And
Somebody's running around pretending to be Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
And there's another Jack Sparrow. And there's a really cool scene, actually, where both Jack Sparrow and the fake Jack Sparrow are like running around with each other and they're fighting each other, but they both are doing the exact same thing. It's really cool. It's really fucking cool.
It is.
And it's really confusing at first when you watch it, and then all of a sudden they make out.
Oh, yeah. I remember I was like,
You're like, what? And then, it's a chick. It's
Yeah.
Penelope
Penelope
Cruz.
Cruz.
And she's playing, what's her name?
her name is Angelica.
Angelica, who is Blackbeard's daughter.
Yeah.
Definitely not his fucking daughter.
Definitely not.
It's not his fucking daughter. Whatever. She kidnaps Jack and takes him to the Queen Anne's Revenge. Now he's not a captain, and he's like being pushed around by zombie guys and all this shit. And Jack's like, yeah, okay, whatever. That's not true. Well, I'm going to do a mutiny. So he gets together a whole mutiny going, and it kicks things off, and everything's going well, and then Blackbeard wakes up.
Yep.
Which, by the way, prior to this point, no one has seen Blackbeard. Mm-hmm. No one knows what he looks like. We don't even know if he's on the ship.
Yeah.
But the quartermaster and Angelica are running around, doing Blackbeard's job for him, pretty much. So Ian McShane comes out, and everyone goes quiet, and all the ropes and shit on the boat start taking people and fucking hanging them upside down and all this shit. And you see that he's got this magic sword, and he goes like this, and it kind of just does shit. And it's really cool.
It is.
And then it grabs Jack, and it brings up Jack, and Jack, being Jack Sparrow, is like, I'd like to report a mutiny, Captain. So he, he gets in trouble for that, and they're going to kill him and all this shit. But, eventually they don't, because he's Jack Sparrow. So they go to this island, and they're looking. This is a clue to get to the Fountain of Youth, because Blackbeard wants the Fountain of Youth before either the Spanish or the English do.
Yeah.
Because he's Blackbeard.
Yeah.
So they go to this island, and then we get the mermaids. Scariest fucking scene.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
This part's scary as fuck. All the guys go out on this boat, and they're trying to get the mermaids because they need a single mermaid tier for the Fountain of Youth. And so they get everybody into this one spot, and the mermaids start singing, and because they're sirens, so they're singing, and they all look beautiful and shit. And then one of the mermaids grabs one of the guys and brings him down, and her face turns into like a fucking creepy vampire looking shit.
Yeah.
And then they start jumping up and taking people off the boat and eating them and all this shit. It's crazy. And then they eventually do catch one, and her name is Serena. And this one guy who has been tied up to the boat for the entire movie, his name is Philip.
Oh, yeah. Philip, yeah.
And he's a Christian, and he has no interest in doing anything of what Blackbeard does, but Blackbeard isn't killing him. He just wants to torture him. Like, he literally just has him tied up on the boat, and he won't let him go. Like, that's what he's doing. So Philip sees Serena and falls in love with her for whatever reason. And then Jack blows up the top of the tower with the lighthouse on it. And he jumps down, and he's like, did anyone say that? Because I will not be doing it again. So then they go further into the jungle, and this is the island where the Fountain of Youth is. And they go into the jungle, and they do all this whole thing, and then they end up getting to this weird spot where like the water is dripping. Instead of it going down, it's dripping up. And they're like, why is it dripping up? That's weird. And they look up and there's this big whirlpool thing in the ceiling. And so then they're like, okay, well, if we go into that, that's probably where the Fountain of Youth is.
No.
So they go in there, and Barbossa's also hot on their tail. Barbossa's been hot on their tail the whole time, and Barbossa has Gibbs, and kind of using him, like, all right, where would Jack be?
Right.
So then, also Elizabeth and Will,
Nowhere to be found.
not in this movie.
Nope.
They're not there. So, and also Port Royal it's not there. It's still there, but we'll get to this later in the fifth one, which when we get to the fifth one, we're not really going to talk about it a whole lot. There ain't really much to talk about. It's not crazy. So we end up finding the Fountain of Youth, and everyone kind of converges on the one Fountain of Youth at the same exact time, and they all get there at the same exact time. So the Spanish are here, the English are here, so Barbossa and Gibbs and all them, they're all here, and the Queen Anne's Revenge crew is all here. Okay? Oh, and then we get this cool scene before we get to this. We get this cool scene where Barbossa and Jack meet each other again.
Oh, yeah.
In this boat that's like on a mountain. So
Yeah.
it's like tipping back and forth and all
Yeah.
this weird shit. And Barbossa and Jack are working together, and then Barbossa kind of explains his plan to Jack because they get captured by the Spanish. And this is when we know the Spanish are also here looking for the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so he basically explains, that the water started. He tells a pirate story like in a really cool way, and it's really fucking cool. And he's telling basically like the water started shaking, and it's like the whole thing just came out from underneath me, and I wanted to go down with the pearl, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
And something, and the ropes on the pearl were taking shit, and that's how he lost his leg. One of the ropes wrapped around his leg and ripped it off.
Yeah.
So we also see that, Barbossa being Barbossa has rum stored in his peg leg. So
I mean, that's what I would do.
that's what I would. I
mean,
I like.
I would do the same thing if I
Except
had
it's
a
Angry
peg.
Orchard.
Angry Orchard, yeah. I mean, if I lost my leg.
Not that I've ever tried that because I'm 20 years old.
Well, I'm 24. I've definitely tried it. It's great. So good.
So
I mean, if I had a peg, like if I was missing a leg, I wouldn't get like a prosthetic, like fake foot. I'd get a peg leg.
Oh, yeah, facts.
Fuck that. I'm getting a peg leg.
no.
I would.
I need a bend in my leg, dude.
No, get a peg leg, bro.
Okay, bet. And then when you piss me off, I'm just gonna kick it out from underneath you.
This shit would be so funny.
Be an asshole all the time, dude.
Take it off of me and beat me with it.
Yeah. So yeah, Jack and Barbossa escape from the Spanish guys, and then they end up kind of working together to get to the Fountain of Youth.
Mm-hmm.
And Fountain of Youth pops up, and they keep the mermaid around because they still need her tears, like just in case they lose it, insurance type thing.
Yeah.
Also, apparently that there's like certain spots in this jungle area where like the sun is hitting, so they use it as torture pits.
Mm-hmm.
So if the sun hits you at this exact spot, you'll like burn to death. It's pretty crazy. But the Christian guy's like, no, I love her. I want to stay with her. And they're like, okay, fine. Then you get tied up too. And then get to the Fountain of Youth, and they're all fighting for the Fountain of Youth. The Fountain of Youth gets blown up.
Oh yeah.
It's blown up. So now there's like one drop of it left. And Jack takes that drop, puts the mermaid tear in it, and does the whole thing. And he's got two chalices. And Penelope Cruz, Angelica is her name. Angelica and Blackbeard are both sitting there. Both are dying.
Mm-hmm.
And because there was like a poison from one of the
Yeah.
frogs that someone
frog,
had taken and used against whatever. And Jack presents it to Blackbeard and Angelica, and he says, "This one has the Fountain of Youth, and this one is because you need two. Like you need two because you're basically stealing the life force from somebody else. That's
Yeah.
basically like what it is. You're stealing the youth from someone else. So you take the Fountain of Youth with the mermaid tear, and you take another glass, and then you kind of just swap.
Yeah.
So this one is yours, and this one has the tear in it. So here you go." And he's like, you could save your daughter. That would be the nice thing to do.
Right.
And then Blackbeard doesn't do that, and he
Right.
takes it and just chugs the whole thing
Yeah.
and whatever. Come to find out, Jack being Jack, he switched them. Because then Jack being Jack, he doesn't just say that. He has to make a whole bit out of it. Because he's like, wait, maybe it was the other way around. And they're like, what do you mean? And he's like, yeah, I kind of switched him. And then he breaks it and he's like, listen, your time's up.
Yeah.
Save your fucking daughter.
Yeah.
So then, he Blackbeard dies, and there's this cool thing with like the water, and it like spins around him, and it tears his skin off and shit, and he's like got his little bone fingers, and whatever. This is around where the time when the CGI of the series kind of starts to, a little bit. It's not nearly as bad as the fifth one, but this one's where it kind of starts to show.
Yeah.
And then, Jack lives happily ever after with his Angelica, except she's really pissed at him. So what does Jack do? He maroons her on the island that he's been marooned on twice now.
Yeah.
And he gives her one shot. And he says, you got one shot in this pistol, whatever. And what does she do? She shoots. She shoots at him and she misses. And then he goes, missed. And then he just keeps going.
I love that.
And that's the end of that movie. So yeah, we're speedrunning these because, to be honest, the first one's the best.
No, yeah, first one's the best.
The second and third are really confusing. They should basically just be one long movie.
I understand why they split it up because it gives you more time.
If it was all one movie, it would be like a 5-hour long movie.
Yeah.
But
the fifth one, though.
The fifth one sucks.
Dead Men Tell No Tales.
It's bad. I'm
cool
sorry.
Concept. Story's cool.
Yeah, okay. Yes, it's a cool concept. Bad execution.
Basically, it starts off with...
Oh, also, Barbossa takes the Queen Anne's Revenge.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
It's important to this movie.
Yeah.
He takes Queen Anne's Revenge. He becomes a pirate again. And in this movie, he is now like the king of the pirates.
Yeah.
He's plundered everything. He is like the richest pirate ever. He literally has like a room full of gold on the ship. It's nuts. So, and he's got the magic sword.
Yeah. This one, it basically it starts off with that ship being plundered or whatever, and we meet, what's his name?
Yeah, Will's kid.
Yeah, what is his name?
He goes and he's basically obsessed with trying to...
Henry.
Yeah, Henry Turner. He's trying to get his dad back.
Yeah.
He's trying to free his dad from the curse. He doesn't know how. So he spends his entire life researching mythology so that he can try and free his dad. Very cool concept. I like this one a lot. So I like this concept a lot.
And then we meet the
witch girl,
the young, beautiful astronomer.
Yeah, and she is an astrology lady.
Karina.
Before it was annoying to be so.
Yeah, Karina Smith. And she apparently holds the key to everything.
Yeah, she's a very big deal, which we won't spoil yet. But
No,
we'll get to it.
And then you have that whole scene where Jack's like,
he's trying to rob a bank.
He's trying to rob a bank
because the crew is broke.
The crew's like dead broke, and so they like basically instead of stealing the bank,
no, instead of going into the bank and stealing money, they steal the entire bank.
Yeah, well, and the building too.
They hitch horses to the entire bank vault. And then they drive off with it, and it fucking takes out through the entire town.
The best part is when they open the safe, Jack is in there drunk, and then there's a girl in there with him who is like the governor's wife or whatever, who comes stumbling out. She's like, oh no.
Yeah.
And he's like,
all the money's gone.
All the money by the time they get to where they need to go is just gone.
Yeah.
And then his crew leaves him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's I think that's when he gets arrested, right?
No, he gets captured. He goes to... He's being forced to marry that whale skeleton.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
a really gross lady.
Gross.
She's got like shit built up on the side of her mouth, and she's very gross.
The guy who plays Javier Bardem, who plays...
Yeah.
Captain Salazar.
Captain Spanish guy.
Yeah. Like I said,
basically they were really good pirate hunters, and they were so good at it that they damn near killed every pirate in the entire sea.
And then they went after Jack.
And they fucked up. Young Jack Sparrow.
I like that scene when they show that.
The de-age thing?
Yeah, the de-age thing could have been better, but that scene is cool, showing,
how it happened and how they died, which is a very fucked up part. Because you like when you see the ghosts, they're all like missing shit off of them. There's like one guy that literally is just like nothing. Like he has like a hand and like some of his torso left, and that's it.
That's about it.
The captain himself uses 2 swords.
Yeah.
To walk around because he's like missing legs, plural.
And like when they talk, when he talks, it's like blood is spilling out too. So it's like
they're in a constant state of death.
Yeah, it's like gurgly when he talks.
But I don't like this because it's very redundant of what happened, of what the first enemies were.
Yeah,
it's the same. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
pretty much. Except now they're, this guy just hates all pirates.
Yeah.
So,
understandably so.
He goes to plunder. Oh, and this is the guy that has the ship that opens up, and it like takes.
He has sharks too that are just like them that he controls.
Because
why?
Let's mix the Curse of the Black Pearl with Davy Jones.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
Yeah,
but they're basically going after Poseidon's trident, which could break
all curses of the 7 seas.
Yeah.
So you can control whatever curses you want, and that's the whole point of this movie.
And the astronomer girl, she's Karina. We find out later she's Barbossa's kid.
She's Barbossa's kid.
Yeah,
but we don't find that out till a little bit later.
Yeah, that's like later. But cool twist. I was like, oh.
You can tell he's acting weird around her 90% of the movie, and then he explains it to somebody. I think it's Jack. I think he's talking to Jack about it, and because Barbossa is caught by the pirate killer guy, and they're like, he's like, make no mistake, I'm going to kill you, but you're going to help me find Jack Sparrow who did this to me.
Yeah,
because Barbossa talks his way out of it, and he's like, I know where Jack is, I can help you find him.
No,
and then whatever, just spare me and my men.
Yeah,
and whatever. So he gives him like a day.
Yeah, something like, I think it was less than a day.
Yeah, it's like less than a day to find Jack. So he does, and he ends up aiding them on the mission. And to be honest, there's really not a whole lot going on in this movie.
There's not.
It's a lot of it is just them in the ocean, and they're just doing random shit.
Yeah.
Although we do get a really fucking funny line. They're going to this island, and Karina like strips down to like her undergarments.
Yeah.
And she like gets out of her dress pretty much, and she jumps into the water, and Henry Turner is like, he's like, I almost saw her ankles, and he goes, and Jack goes, you'd have seen a lot more if you kept your cleg hole shut.
Yeah, because that's a scene when they're
because she's like undressing herself, and Henry's like, no, stop, and he's like, no, don't stop.
Yeah, no, keep going. Oh yeah.
And then way earlier in the movie, this is where we see Paul McCartney as his uncle.
Yeah,
Uncle Jack.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, basically, this movie, there's not a whole lot to it, like we said.
Yeah,
but
I mean, really not a whole. Basically, long story short,
they get the trident.
They find Barbossa. They get the trident, and they break the curse of the 7 seas. They break all the curses. All curses.
So the best part of this entire movie is seeing Will.
Yeah. Yes. The very, very, very end, like the last 5 minutes of the movie. You see,
and I think don't Henry and Karina end up together too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they end up getting together, and they go find.
You see Will, and he's coming up the hill, and then they pan to a hill, and you're like, no, it's not. No, and then you just see Elizabeth, and
it's fucking Keira Knightley coming back after fucking how many years now?
And they run, do a little kissy kiss, and it was
when was Dead Man's Chest made? Or no, At World's End. When was At World's End made?
At World's End was made in 2007.
Holy shit! When was this one made?
2017.
10. Oh my god! 10 years later. Get the fuck out of here!
Yeah, 10 years later.
What?
I mean, because they were offered to come back for Stranger Tides, but they didn't. Both Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley didn't want to come back because they felt their character's story ended so well.
Yeah, which it did.
It did. And also Keira Knightley wanted to focus on smaller films, like indie films and stuff like that.
Which she did.
And she did.
And Orlando Bloom was kind of just doing whatever.
Yeah, Orlando Bloom's just... Bro's chilling. He don't need to
listen. He was in Lord of the Rings and Pirates. He's doing just fucking fine.
He doesn't need to do more movies.
He's fine.
He's making hella money off.
I mean, even Keira Knightley, like that's probably why she just did indie shit. Because I mean, she was in Star Wars and Pirates.
Yeah.
Like, what else does she need to do?
Yeah. She doesn't need to do much. I wonder what Orlando did after.
Let me see. So yeah. So then they're reunited, and he's no longer part because the curse is broken now.
Yeah.
So there's no need for a Davy Jones anymore.
Yeah.
So, although the trident would have been nice in the first movie.
Yeah.
Although that's kind of crazy to do all that just to break that one single curse when, whatever. But I guess
That's
whatever.
true.
But yeah, for the most part, I mean, we kind of rushed the last ones, but we went kind of in depth with.
Oh
first
yeah,
couple.
no, yeah, because Orlando, he did after Pirates, he didn't really do much until the Hobbit movies came out.
Yeah.
And he came back to play Legolas, which is
Legolas.
another thing because the Hobbit takes place before Lord of the Rings. Sorry, I'm gonna nerd out, but I'm not going to. So yeah,
Anyway,
yeah. I was just looking to see what he.
what would
did
you rate
after.
him?
The movies? Black Pearl's the best one. At World's End.
Really?
Yeah. Dead Man's Chest. Stranger Tides, and then the most recent one.
I actually like them in order.
Really? How they came out?
I like them in order because Worlds. Oh, that's where Jack is. The beginning of Dead Man's Chest. That's when he's in that weird prison island, and he gets out from the coffin,
Oh yeah.
and the fucking bird is, and he blasts out.
Yeah.
Kills the. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I forgot about that too.
Yeah, I like Dead Man's Chest a little bit more because it's a little bit more confined. It doesn't feel so conclusive.
That's true.
It just feels like another pirate story. And then the third one comes around and it's very, very heavy on everything. Like everyone's going to war. Everyone like you get the feeling like everyone's gonna die. Like it's a big deal.
That third one definitely is. It's like the Return of the King for.
It's the
Pirates
end game
movies.
of pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
So, but as a trilogy, I think it's great. And then the last two were meh. And then there's talks. There's been talks for a while because Johnny Depp had that whole thing going on with his psycho fucking ex-wife.
Fuck you, Amber.
And Disney cut him without even consulting him or asking him any questions. They just saw controversy and they cut him.
Yeah.
Which is bullshit.
I mean, I had seen that apparently they offered him a bunch more money to come back. I don't know if it's true or if he accepted it or whatever the case may be.
But that's where I was going with this. That they fired him and he basically swore that he was never going to come back and do Pirates movies. Which,
I don't blame him,
yeah, I don't.
but it's an unfortunate thing because he's so good.
Yeah, and without any they were going to try and do a Pirates movie without him.
I'm pretty sure they're still doing that one with Margot Robbie.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
Yikes. I mean, if you were going to do a Pirates movie without Jack, why would you do it with? Why don't you just do it with Will and
Henry, Will, Elizabeth, and Henry.
I mean, and Barbosa. But I guess let's be real.
You can't really.
Let's be real. None of them would come back if Johnny wasn't in. Like,
Yeah.
none of them would.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I mean, I don't know. I think they're still making that one with Margot Robbie as the lead, which I love me some.
I love Margot Robbie. She's great.
So I'll go see it if they end up making it.
If it's a Pirates movie without Jack Sparrow, it's stupid and it doesn't need to be around.
I highly doubt it's gonna be great, but there was that, and then apparently I'd seen something about a series on Disney Plus of them potentially doing with Johnny. I don't know if he's gonna do that. I don't know what's happening. We could just pray and hope that he comes back and they say fuck you.
Yeah, I hope Johnny does come back. Because I thought it would be fun because Wesley, if you didn't know, Pirates of the Caribbean is a very famous ride at the. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's a little theme park. There's a couple in America. Disneyland and Disney World.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's what that ride's called.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they made a movie off of that.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Really weird. So anyway,
It's like my favorite ride too.
no, yeah,
Crazy.
Yeah. It's definitely because admittedly I went to Disney only a couple times in my life. I didn't get to go all the time like Wes here, who goes fucking 5 times a year.
It's a bit of an exaggeration.
We just recently went again for my niece's 4th birthday, and it was really fun. It was really, really fun, and going back and seeing all the stuff again. And obviously things are kind of different from when I went when I was fucking 5 or 6 or whenever it was when I went.
Yeah.
Because now I'm an adult and I,
We're Disney adults.
Yeah, Disney.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
Well, I am, but
Listen, bro, I saw a Disney adult in action when I was there, and that shit was wild.
Listen, my mom's a Disney adult. I have to be a Disney adult, right?
Yeah, but there's 2 types of Disney. There's like the enthusiastic ones that are just happy to be there, and then there's the ones that like dance around and pretend like they're the main character of the Disney parks.
Oh no, yeah, we don't do that. We're just
weird.
excited to be there.
That's weird. Listen, it's weird.
No, I know.
It's weird.
It's very weird.
Anywho, I want to talk a little bit about the ride. I did some research about the ride, and I got all this information from a short documentary. Well, short documentary on Disney Plus, and it's called something.
Let's look it up.
Behind the Ride or something like that.
Sounds very familiar.
But yeah, they basically go into, what happened and how the attractions came to be and whatever. So I got some really cool information here about Pirates of the Caribbean, and I'm gonna tell you guys about it. So, Pirates of the Caribbean was created in 1967. Okay, it was actually one of Walt Disney's rides that he wanted to do first. He wanted to put Pirates of the Caribbean in Disneyland first. Disneyland opened in 1955, and at the time, Walt Disney couldn't do Pirates of the Caribbean because there just wasn't enough room, simply. So
Behind the Attraction?
Yes, that's it. Thank you. Behind the Attraction.
I'm gonna have to watch this.
It's pretty cool. There were some other cool episodes in there, and
Haunted Mansion.
it was like 2 a.m, so I didn't watch the full episode of it, but I got like the basic gist. I got the information that I wanted because then they were getting into the Tokyo location and the Shanghai location and all.
Oh, really?
Stuff. And I wasn't interested in that because we're talking about the movies, not the ride. But we're gonna take a good chunk of the episode talking about the ride today. So, 1955 is when Disneyland opened in Anaheim, California, and Walt Disney apparently had a very, very big thing for pirates. He loved pirates. As a kid, he would read a bunch of, adventure books. It's probably why he ended up creating so many, amazing stories and things like that. And a couple of the stories that inspired him to create Pirates of the Caribbean and why he loved pirates so much was a book. There was a couple books that he read. One of them was Robert Louis Stevenson's Treasure Island, which I think is also the inspiration of Treasure Planet that was made decades later.
That would only make sense.
I believe that is the case. And along with I knew how to say this, and I literally listened to how to say it in the car. La Reina los Caribes, or Queen of the Caribbean. I probably butchered that. I apologize. By Emilio Salgari. So back in the 50s, Walt Disney was actually he started his film empire that he was doing, right? Obviously starting with Snow White, and then he eventually would go into all these other things. So sometime in the 50s, there was a film adaptation that Walt did of the aforementioned Treasure Island movie with a character called Long John Silver, played by Robert Newton, set the pretense of how pirates sound today and how we know them to sound. With the our matey shit, right? So that was that trope that was from that Disney movie. Oh. At least that's what the Disney people say, which take it with a grain of salt.
Right?
They like to take credit for things that they didn't really do.
Facts.
Of course, in 1955 is also when Walt Disney opened Disneyland, and at the time he wasn't able to put the attraction into the park because of space. I mentioned that earlier. Originally, the main Pirates attraction was actually supposed to be a wax museum of historical figures from the Caribbean.
Really?
That were prominent in New Orleans area of the United States, and this wax museum would naturally be placed in New Orleans Square in Disneyland. So, however, Walt Disney made a historic appearance at the 1964 to 1965 World's Fair, showing his collection of insanely groundbreaking animatronics that are still amazing to look at to this day.
Thanks.
They, obviously have added on to them and updated them since and whatever, but they're still amazing to this day. If you watch them in real time, they can be really really insane. This would take all the Imagineers that were currently working at Disneyland at the time, and they were all over at the World Fair working on this, and it was taking a lot of time and whatever. So by the time they got back to Disneyland, the Wax Museum thing was still on the table. It was on the queue for what they wanted to do for an attraction. But then Walt was like, nah. Right?
Good.
He was like, you know what? Instead of doing this whole Wax Museum, why don't we take the animatronics that we've been working on and put them into an actual ride? So, at the time, there was only one animatronic they had working in the entire park. Again, this is 1967. At the time, there was only one animatronic. Can you take a wild guess of who that animatronic is? Take a wild guess. I guarantee you won't get it right.
The dragon?
Nope.
Oh, damn. I forgot the dragon.
There was one. It's a person.
Oh, it's a person. Was it Walt's?
Nope.
Oh.
It's Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, what?
Pretty sure this is from the Hall of Presidents thing.
Oh,
that they
yeah.
did. But I'm pretty
Is that
sure.
still a thing at Disney World? The Hall of
I
Presidents?
think it was. I don't think I went when I went in,
Yeah,
but I
didn't
think.
either.
Yeah. Because you know, right? I mean, I went to Disney World. This is Disneyland, so this
Oh,
is
yeah,
still
okay.
Anaheim. So this isn't,
Yeah, we've never been
the
to
exact
Disneyland.
layout.
Yeah.
Whatever. So I've never been to Disneyland. I don't really want to go.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Disney World is a lot bigger, a lot more
better.
shit in it. So, anywho, yes. So they took the working animatronic from that and they built off of it, and they also took the boat monorail system that they had set in place from Small World. They took that and they went, hey, if it's a ride about pirates, you should probably be in a boat, right?
Right.
Okay, cool. We'll do a boat. And then they'll put animatronics in it. And yeah. But instead of there only being one animatronic in the entire ride, they now upped the ante and they did 75 total animatronics of full working people. Not to mention the 53 other animatronics that they did for animals.
Mm-hmm.
So
a lot of animals.
Yeah, that's a lot. So there's, the dog with the keys.
Mm-hmm.
There's the chickens. Mm-hmm. There's the pigs and like in the pig pen and all that shit. Like there's all sorts of shit going on. So, this is all thanks to a man known as the Car Guy. This is from the documentary. They just call him the Car Guy. I don't know if it's an actual historical nickname that he was given, but he's known as the Car Guy in this documentary. And one of Walt's most trusted Imagineers, his name was Bob Gurr. Also, the lead engineer gave us the monorail system that's present throughout the entire parks, and now is a huge staple for Disney World because it's basically how you get from park to park.
Right.
And he has a little tattoo of it right here on his chest. A tiny little tattoo of the first blueprint that he made of the monorail system. He has it right here.
Oh, cool.
The designer of the pirates themselves was a artist that Walt worked with very, very closely and basically designed everything in the park. I mean, OG Disney stuff, right? There's a very small crew. Back in the day, it wasn't teams of people. It was like one or two people that you would kind of work with and they would do this stuff, right? So his name was Mark Davis. And he also was the man who created the iconic prisoners that are trying to lure the dog over with the keys. Yeah. He created that. He drew sketches of it. Really, really cool pictures, and he's a really, really cool artist.
I have to watch that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay. It's pretty cool. At least, the first little bit that I watched. I got like 30 minutes into it.
Okay.
Because they were talking about like how it was created and stuff. His wife, Alice Davis, was the costumer who dressed all of her husband's drawings. So basically, how this would work was Mark Davis would come up with the character designs, and he would say, okay, and he was also coming up with kind of the story of it,
right.
What's going on the ride. That's how in depth these fucking things get, right? Like they don't just throw together a bunch of random shit and kind of call it a day. No, they're taking you through a story.
Right.
They're taking you through a tiny little snippet of a story that is, in this world. So Mark Davis would draw them. Bob Gurr was the one that was designing the animatronics, and his wife, Alice Davis, was the one that was dressing them and making them into pirates. So, and she also had some experience herself working on a tiny little ride at Disney World called Small World. The classic song that appears, the part that we were singing in the opening, was not written by a musician. It was written by an Imagineer
Really?
who was coming up with the story of the ride and came up with, okay, well, we got to have a song here. And because Walt Disney had a lot of different musicians, like not actual musicians that he would go to for a lot of the music and the songs and stuff. But this man who wrote this song, his name is X space Atencio. Atencio. His first name is the letter X.
XX, whatever, the rapper?
Nope.
Oh.
X Atencio.
Oh.
And according to him, he's just always been called X. No idea what his real name is.
Cool.
But yeah, so he came up with the lyrics of it and kind of just put it into the ride. And Walt went, "Oh, cool, a song. We should, that's a good idea for put in for Pirates." And he goes, "Write the rest of the song." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And then Walt also assigned a man named George Burns to come up with the actual melody, so that that whole thing was came about by George Burns. In 1971, Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida, would open up to the public following a number of complaints when guests began complaining about the popular Pirates of the Caribbean ride was nowhere to be found. Walt Disney thought that it would have been redundant to put a Pirates of the Caribbean ride in the actual Caribbean. Because I don't know if you knew this. I didn't know this, but the Caribbean actually does start in like halfway through Orlando or halfway through the state of Florida.
Really?
The region of the Caribbean starts in Florida. Did not know that. Apparently that's the case. Learned that from a documentary. The more you know. So while they were planning out Walt and his team were actually planning on putting the Western, the Western Frontier Expedition, I think that's the ride. The big water one, right?
Yeah.
So I think what Walt was trying to go for here was like, I think he likes to do things where, okay, people from the West are going to come to Florida, or no, not even that. People from all these places in the world are going to come to these certain areas, and we're going to show them through the rides kind of the other areas of the world. So if you're in Florida, you're going to get stuff from the West. And if you're in the West, you're going to get stuff from Florida.
Right.
Kind of weird, but that's how Walt did things. However, everybody in 1971 came into the park and was like, where the fuck's Pirates of the Caribbean? Right. We want Pirates of the Caribbean. Where is it? So Walt kind of was like, well, shit,
fuck.
Because I don't know if you've ever seen the Western Frontier. I don't even know if I'm saying that right.
I think you're talking about Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
I could be right by Haunted Mansion.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah,
but that one, I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's a huge area of the park. It's a ginormous area of the park. Like, if you look at the Magic Kingdom map, it takes up like 20% of the whole bottom half of the map.
Yeah.
It's big. So Walt was like, well, shit, because now in California, they had a thing where, like I said, Disneyland is a lot smaller.
Yeah.
They couldn't build out from where they already had bought, right? Yeah. So there was a railroad track that went around the entire park in Disney World. It's probably still there to this day. Again, I've never been there. I don't know. But they called this the berm. And Pirates of the Caribbean, the original one, went down underneath the ground. That's why there's 2 waterfall parts.
Oh, there is?
There's 2. So what it's doing is, A, making the audience be like, oh, shit, Yeah. But it's also taking you down underneath the park and underneath that railroad. So here's the railroad and here's where the park comes down, or the ride comes down. It goes down like this. Well, first you start up here. You come down, and you come down again, and then you're into this giant showroom. So they would take you through the entire room, and they'd come back around, and they'd go back up, and you come out. So yeah. But in Florida, you can't do that.
No.
Because Florida is a very, very swampy, wet state. So there are water planes all over underneath the ground. So if you dig too far down, you're just going to hit nothing but water. So you can't go down under the ground like you could in California. So instead, they just had to build it all out.
I mean, it's still a great ride.
It's a great ride. It's amazing.
It
still looks great.
I don't really want to go to California, but I kind of want to ride it now.
I want to go see Disneyland for the history.
Yeah.
Because it was Walt's first.
Yeah.
And I don't think they've changed a whole lot.
No. I mean, except like the Avengers Campus, that big ass thing.
Yeah, but that's a separate park.
Oh, it is? It's not?
That's a whole different, I think. I'm pretty sure that's a whole separate park.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't even think that's... Like, I think it's kind of like at Disney World, there's like,
Magic Kingdom,
Yeah.
Animal Kingdom, all those.
Right.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's kind of a little bit about it's kind of a little bit all I got. Oh, but then, because of this, right? So, like I said, they didn't have an area to put Pirates of the Caribbean at in Disney World. Walt didn't have an area to put Pirates of the Caribbean, so Walt being Walt created an area in what we now know today as Adventureland. And he put Pirates of the Caribbean in Caribbean Plaza and designed it specifically for that attraction. So every time you go into Pirates of the, Adventureland, there's always one designated area just for Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, that's so cool.
And that's where it's been for years.
That's where I go first time. Like, every time I get in the Magic Kingdom, I'm going right to Pirates.
Well, first time we went, I went straight to Haunted Mansion.
Oh, bro, I love Pirates more. Right to Pirates.
Yeah.
That's
So
fun.
that's a little bit about the design of the actual ride that came to be. Now, anyway, that's Pirates of the Caribbean, man.
Yeah.
Anything else to say?
No, just go watch them because you are missing out on not only great storytelling but great visual effects.
There's a friend of ours just watched them all for the first time. She a little bit younger than us, and she likes them a lot.
Yeah, and they're amazing. I mean, the CGI in them, especially in Dead Man's Chest and at World's End, still holds up to this day. I think that and then the Planet of the Apes movies, CGI is fucking fantastic. But yeah, just go watch them.
You got kind of confused with it. They're confusing. Listen.
They're confusing. We also don't have Mike because he quit, so we don't have... Maybe.
But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's kind of a long one today.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah.
We have 5 movies. I mean, we cut Star Wars down
Yeah, we did.
really quick.
I mean, because
There's a lot.
we could have sat there and talked about Star Wars for 5 hours.
Well, we didn't really research that one.
Yeah,
To be fair, we didn't research this one either, but
Yeah.
a lot more to talk about.
No, not at all.
So, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and all the socials pretty much.
Yeah,
You can
all of them.
find us all
Spotify too, all of
on,
them.
The Movie Night Pod. So subscribe for more videos, and
Have a good one.